My name's Joe Exotic, and this is Sarge.
Tiger King is taking over.
You love me.
These videos all over YouTube showcase Joe Exotic's singing ambitions. Some surprised to learn two other artists are reportedly behind Joe Exotic's musical masterpieces. But those who produced his music videos weren't shocked at all.
When you're around Joe Exotic, you don't ask questions really. You kind of just roll with it and just whatever happens, happens, you know? So he told us that he sang these songs. We knew he didn't because he could not remember the lyrics of them even.
So what does Tiger King really sound like?
He does not have singing voice, definitely. He did not sound very good.
Here Kitty Kitty is one of several music videos Matt Gagalka helped produce.
Joe was a director and producer pretty much of his music videos. He would have a dream how he wants to see something. Then he would come in the morning, tell us that we're gonna go out and shoot a music video. And he would tell us how to do it, pretty much.
While Tiger King may have owned the throne for the cameras, Matt saw a kind man when no one was watching.
So every time I would come down to help him, after I left, he would take care of me. He would, pay me something for coming down, and would always be really nice, offer something to drink, and, he was just really nice guy personally.
Matt learned about the Clinton Johnson Band reportedly being behind the music after Netflix launched the series and Tiger King mania began.
Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked him. Can't convince me that it didn't happen.
The big question, is Joe Exotic's lip syncing legal?
Lip syncing is okay as long as he has a license. And if it's his song, he has every right to lip sync.
The law provides for every song there are two copyrights, one for the musical composition and one for the sound recording.
What we're looking at truly is, are these his songs? Did he write them? Maybe. Did he not write them? Did he hire someone to write them? And that's what's called a work for hire.
Collaborations are common in the music industry.
And if there's a very simple agreement saying, hey, I want you to write this song for me, and here's X amount of dollars, $1, 10,000, whatever it is, then it's his song and he can lip sync forever.
Credit as a co-writer can come from influencing a song.
He could say, I'm a co-writer because I gave you some of the material. I gave you some of the lyrics, and some of what you're doing is because of me.
Depending on the circumstances, even a handshake agreement can possibly seal a deal. For lip syncing to be legal, it all goes back to who owns the copyright.
Absent anything at all in writing, then each of them owns a third, and they own a third of that copyright. But the kicker is that each one of them individually can do what they want to with that song.
This means if Joe Exotic had an agreement with the Clinton Johnson Band to make the music, he can lip sync until the cows come home, or in his case, the Tigers.
All right, I guess that's good news for Joe Exotic. He won't be brought up on Milli Vanilli charges. Let's bring in Julie Grant. Julie, I feel like I need to have someone, maybe someone write and sing a song that I can lip sync for everybody. Because if it's legal, right?
That's right. That's right. I think you're referring to Justin, maybe my fiance, who's a musician. And yes, I mean, that's what happens. I mean, he's co-written songs with other artists. In fact, Tony Lucca, who was part of the Mickey Mouse Club, he and Justin co-wrote a song together, and they both recorded different versions of it. And it's their song together. And so that's just one example. But here, if Tiger King did collaborate with the Clinton Johnson Band, and believe me, we tried to find out. We reached out to Vince Johnson, and he did not return our inquiries. But we wanted to know what the terms of this reported agreement was. Danny Clinton has since passed away. So we don't know what their arrangement was. But if they had something where he influenced the song, gave a lyric, somehow came up with themes, and they agreed to write it for him, then he is good to go. Then he can keep on lip syncing and just keep on keeping on with his music career as best he can with his current situation.
Yeah, it's fascinating because I remember at the end of the series, I was like, why was this guy running a zoo? Why is he not in Nashville? Because the voice was tremendous, and obviously the songs were, you know, from the heart, I guess, singing about the big cats. Now, the producer of the videos that you, producer of the videos you spoke with, Matt, he actually lived on the property. Let's listen to what he had to say about living on Joe Exotic's property at the zoo.
There was, the trailers were on the north side of the park, and there was a little parking lot, and then right after the parking lot there was the fence and there was the park, so you could hear all night, you know, the lions roaring and all the mating sounds and everything going on all night long.
It's an amazing. How did this guy hook up with the Tiger King?
Oh my gosh, Vinny, it's such a great story. So Matt Gogolka is originally from Poland, and he came to the United States just for a vacation. He has lots of experience in videography, producing, all of that. And he happened to be looking on Craigslist and saw Joe Exotic's ad for him to come and be a producer for that Joe Exotic television show he was doing. And the whole hope was to get the show to look so good that they could try to sell it to a major network. So Matt responded, just hit it off with everybody, and then Joe Exotic invited him to then live on the property. And he told me that the trailers that they lived in were not nearly as bad as they were perhaps portrayed in the docuseries. He said it really wasn't. He was very enjoyable. He loved his time there. I asked him about the pizza. He did not eat the pizza, but he did say he ate the burgers, and they were very good, Vinny.
Fascinating, because he doesn't really, like, there's a lot of negativity about Joe Exotic from some of the characters in the documentary. You also asked him about Carol Baskin and the whole controversy with the federal trial. Here's what he said.
I believe that Joe really probably needs more of a mental health than actual jail. I think he lost altogether 2 husbands. The other one ended up leaving him for a woman, and then he had Carol, who was on his back for years, all the time, just every day trying to sue him for something new and trying to do new depositions and everything. So I think he was just slowly losing touch with reality towards the end.
That's another interesting look, because there was tragedy in his life as well, Joe Exotic.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, you can tell Matt really feels bad for him. And like he said, really feels like he needs more mental health treatment, perhaps, rather than incarceration because of all he's been through. And he said the guy he knew and got to work with wasn't the kind of guy you would think who would engage in a murder for hire plot. He doesn't believe that Joe Exotic would ever intend to or try to harm Carol Baskin. He said that when the cameras weren't rolling, he saw a really nice guy. He said it was like there were 2 different guys, the guy who would kind of pop off and rant and really be a big personality in front of the cameras for the show and whatnot. But he said when no one was watching, he saw a really kind human being. And so for what it's worth, he feels really bad for him, but just kind of tried to stay away from the trial and all the legal issues because it didn't concern him.
All right, Julie Grant. I was going to say Julie King. Julie Grant, our Tiger King expert.
I'll take it, my friend. It was a fun report to do.
Thanks so much.
Tonight. Thank you, Vinny.